Hey, thanks for checking out my tutorial for teaching you how to upload the Mupo base model to VRChat. Or if you would prefer, in the description is a document that has the steps typed out. I'll probably continue editing that with additional questions that people might have in the comments below. That being said, I don't want to mess around and waste your time, so we're going to get right into it. Now, first things first, you want to make sure that you have the correct version of Unity. So you're going to go to the VRChat website, downloads, setting up the SDK, and then you'll be able to click on current version of Unity, and then that will then show you what version of Unity is currently in use, and then you can click on that, and that will actually take you to a download. And then after that, you'll need to download the SDK. Once you have these files, you'll just need to create a new project, and then you can open up the SDK file that you just downloaded. I've already done that because it takes a little while to import all of the files. Now take your Mupo zip file, export out the folder, and then in here is the Unity package that you can double click on to import it into your project. Now you can go to Mupo Assets and then open up the Mupo Scene to bring in the default avatar. Now as you can see, I've already set up the VRChat avatar descriptor for the Mupo, so you can already basically upload without having to adjust anything in here. So now we get to the fun customization part. So for this you're going to need some sort of photo editing program or drawing program. I'm going to be using Medibang for this example though. I've used Photoshop files for the textures because Unity actually will recognize Photoshop files and be able to use that for the materials. So you're going to want to make sure that your photo editing program or drawing program supports PSD or Photoshop file format. To make editing easier, I've included a guide with both of the PSD files so that you can see where on the texture everything is. So here's a super quick and easy way to actually adjust the color without changing the style of the avatar. I'm just going to be using the selection tool here, and then I'm going to go around the whole thing and make sure that I get all of it without overlapping any of the other parts of the Mupo. And then from there, we can then just go to some sort of hue shifting filter and adjust the hue of the wings here that we selected. And real quick, I'll do that again on the bobble to show you that as well. Now once we've done that, we can then go and save this file. First, make sure that you turn off the guide, of course. But once it's saved, as long as it didn't change the file type and it didn't create a new file, it will then be automatically applied to your model. Now, because there's a lot more things on this texture than the other one, I've actually gone through and I've named all of the different pieces along with the guides to make it easier to understand where everything is and find it and change it if you would like. So originally I had actually done the eyes the same way that I did the wings and the bobble, but I thought that that was too many times of doing the same thing, so I've actually cut in this part where I've done something a little different. So in this example, I've actually pasted in a eye, let's say it's from a different project or it's one that I created separately, and then I'm going to turn off the textures, turn on just the guide, and then use that to resize it and put the pupil into the center of the circle, because that's the easiest way to center it. And then from there, I copy and I paste it and I put it on the other eye as well. And that's a nice, quick, easy way to add a different pair of eyes to the Mupo. Let's try a different method for changing the colors around on your model. I'm going to create a new layer. And now that I have this new layer, I'm going to turn back on the guides. I'm going to select my color, and I'm going to zoom in here, and I'm going to actually just draw something. Now, excuse my kind of bad mouse drawing here, but we can still make this work. We can still make this look good by just using the smudge brush. So now I'm just kind of pushing it around a bit, making it sort of feathered on the edge, making it not such a harsh line. And by pushing it around and making it smoother and sort of shaped better, we can get a result that actually looks quite nice. So now I'm going to duplicate the layer, and then for Medibang it's Ctrl-T to transform the layer, and then I will just flip it and try to put it in about the same spot on the other side of the body. Now, once I turn the guides back on, I can tell that it's not quite where I want it, so I'm going to do a little bit of a adjustment to put it so that it's about in the same spot on both sides. And now I'll just turn off the guides and save it. So that gave you a couple of ways that you can add on to the base and change it and make it look good and everything. So now we'll move on to going to the body and adjusting the blend shapes for the Mupo model. So now you'll want to move past all of the expressions and everything like that, down to where it says add chest, and from here down, all of these can be adjusted to change the look and feel of the model. So now I'll just make a couple little adjustments here, and I'll change it up and make it look different than it was before. But there's no real right or wrong way to mess with these, so just sort of change them, mess with them, see what looks right to you. So now that your Mupo has a new texture, the blend shapes have been edited, you might be ready to upload. So from here, you can change the scale to actually change how tall your avatar is, and then you will want to adjust the view position to match the scale so that you can actually still see properly. So now you would click Edit. The Y position should be identical to your scale, and then you'll just move the Z back so that you can't see the orb and it's just inside the head. Now that your viewpoint's been adjusted and your scale's been adjusted, we can now go to VRChat SDK and then Show Control Panel. Once you log in, you're going to click on the Builder tab, and now you'll just click Autofix a couple of times. There's a couple of different autofixes, and there shouldn't be any problem once you click on those. They should all go away, and it should be just the two little yellow triangles, and the rest will be green. Now, in this state though, there are no dynamic bones on your avatar. This is because the dynamic bone script is actually a Unity asset that needs to be purchased. Now, VRChat at some point is going to be making available their own version of Dynamic Bones, but until then, you will need to buy and import the Dynamic Bone files if you want to have your ears and the tail and the antenna and the wings and all those little things actually being able to move around when you're moving, also known as Dynamic Bones. Once the Dynamic Bones are imported, you won't actually need to make any adjustments because I've already set them up for you, so everything should just work. And now when we go back to the VRChat SDK, you'll notice that instead of good performance, it's labeled as medium performance. Now down at the bottom, there's build and test. This is just offline testing. It's so that you can test your model and you can see it in VRChat, but nobody else will be able to see it until you build and publish for Windows. Now once you click on build and publish for Windows, it will take you to this screen where you can name your avatar, as well as create an image for the avatar in VRChat. So to adjust the image, we will go back to Scene. Easiest way to bring yourself into the frame is just to click on the avatar and then drag it down a little bit. And now when we go back to the game view, you will see that you're now in frame. So now click on the little checkbox and then you can upload. And that's it. Congratulations. You now have a Mupo avatar in VRChat. If you have any questions or if I missed anything or anything like that, feel free to put it into the comments. I will respond as soon as I can and try to clear up any problems. But yeah, thanks for watching. Hope this was easy to understand and everything, and good luck with your Mupo.